Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 8, Blendin's Game. That one was also very good. And you know that that's got to be extra true when the episode is coming off of an episode like Society of the Blind Eye. This had one of the more complex plots of the show, but I am going to try to break it down as simply as possible as per usual. In the far distant future, the anomaly fixer guy, I can't remember what his actual job title was, Blendin from The Time Traveler's Pig, has lost his job now and been sentenced to future time prison or whatever. But he's escaped, presumably based on future events in the episode, to go after Dipper and Mabel because he blames them for everything that happened to him. And when he is inevitably caught, he invokes a future time person version of gladiatorial combat, where he gets to accuse Dipper and Mabel of ruining his life and then challenge them to this competition. If he wins, he gets to decide what happens to them, and then he gets a wish. They call it a time wish, making it sound a little more science-y than a regular wish, but it's still a regular wish. But likewise, if Dipper and Mabel somehow manage to win, they will get to decide his fate, and they will get a wish. Meanwhile, in the present, of all things, Dipper and Mabel discover that it's Seuss's birthday, and then subsequently learn that he doesn't like his birthday for some reason. And it sounds like the weirdest juxtaposition of plots, like things that wouldn't go together at all, but it really does. And it does in a really fantastic way. Dipper and Mabel also at the same time discover that Seuss likes laser tag, so to try to cheer him up, they take him to laser tag at an old mattress factory turned laser tag place. And this is when they're abducted by the people from the future to participate in this gladiatorial combat. Which is stupid, because if the people of this future, if the authorities of this future are concerned with time paradoxes, why would they abduct people whose lives aren't over who could contribute more to the world? That's stupid. But I'll overlook it because the rest of the episode was good. Dipper manages to swipe the time travel device from one of the guards escorting Blendin around, and he and Mabel try to use it to get back to their own time, but they overshoot by 10 years and land in the very year, on the very day, that Seuss's distaste for his birthday is formed. They learn it's because his dad, his absentee dad, every single year insists that he's going to make it to Seuss's birthday and then doesn't show up, sending only a postcard. And it was that year when he finally just gave up on his dad altogether. Seeing how down Seuss is, how much this continues to hurt him year after year, and overhearing the thing about the time wish, they decide to go ahead and participate in the competition to face Blendin for the chance to get that wish. Through the silliest of contrivances, and it's one of those moments, one of those rare moments where this show is almost too silly. The final competition in the gladiatorial competition overall turns out to be laser tag, which Dipper and Mabel win easily because there's two of them. Of course they're going to win at laser tag if there's two of them. They get the time wish, they win the whole competition, and now they are allowed to decide Blendin's fate in the presence of the time baby, which is just as creepy here as it was in the previous episode for that brief instant that we saw it. And of course, being good people, they realize that they did kind of ruin Blendin's life, even if they didn't realize that's what they were doing at the time. So they get him his job back and even give him a little bit of hair right here on top of his head. And he finally realizes they're not bad people. And because the time wish is for Seuss, they have Blendin take them and the wish back in time to Seuss so he can make the wish himself. Because thankfully they have the presence of mind to realize that he may not actually wish for his dad to be in his life. That changing someone's life like that should be their choice. And when Seuss realizes what Dipper and Mabel have been through to get him this wish, that they literally fought a gladiatorial competition and got themselves all dirtied up and beat up and injured to win this for him, he realizes that his family isn't absent. It's been here the entire time. And I will admit, I actually felt like shedding a single manly tear when I heard that. It was really quite moving. No, I'm kidding. This was actually a really great scene, a really moving scene. Seuss wishes for Dipper and Mabel to be restored to a pristine state, and for good measure, he wishes for a slice of infinite pizza, which just might be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've said before that Seuss isn't my favorite character, and this episode didn't, like, bump him up to my favorite or anything, but I'm definitely coming to appreciate him more with this recent couple of episodes that have focused more on him specifically. This one, in particular, was really, really good. It was very complex and at times felt a little rushed, but that was never to the detriment of the episode. It knew where to slow down to make the points that it was trying to make and had some very genuinely touching scenes. I really felt for young Seuss in this episode. And even though I kind of predicted the way that the ending was going to go, that didn't make it any less moving in and of itself. I also liked the couple of little touches that were included throughout this episode. Like, while in the past, Dipper and Mabel run into young Wendy, who is now much younger than Dipper, and she is attracted to Dipper, which creeps Dipper out, and he kind of has an epiphany that this must be what Wendy felt like when he was being all creepy on her. It was just such a subtle moment that couldn't have been in any other episode except for this one. And yet it added so much to the characters and their dynamics. It was really great. And also seeing how Mabel and Dipper, while in the past interacting with young Seuss and with the environment immediately around young Seuss, actually inadvertently set in motion some of the things that ended up improving his life for the better, was a really nice touch. Showing that even before they technically knew each other, they were already looking out for him in a weird cosmic way. Like, it did create a couple of paradoxes, but I'll let it slide. I'm not gonna get too concerned with paradoxes in a cartoon this week. I am kind of curious to meet Seuss's dad now. I don't know if we ever get to, but I am kind of curious now to see what kind of guy he is. But that may just be me. I don't know. More so, though, I'm really interested in the logistics behind the infinite pizza. Does being infinite inherently mean that it cannot spoil or decay? Does it literally last forever, or does it just restore itself each time part of it is eaten? It's these kinds of things that really keep me up at night thinking. At the end of the day, I was a little bit worried that after the brilliance that was the last episode, that this one wouldn't be able to keep that momentum going, and I was thankfully quite wrong. This episode likewise made great use of the continuity, and I would actually argue makes better use of the characters than most episodes of this show so far, and therefore rounded out to be one of the better experiences that I've had watching this show. But as per usual, guys, I'd like to ask, what did you think of this episode? If you have seen it, let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.